Hi guys, welcome to another video, and in this lesson we're looking at fossils. Now a fossil is basically the remain of an organism from millions of years ago. And this is a definition that usually comes up in the exam, and it's the definition that will get you the full marks. Now, what do fossils tell us? Well, fossils can tell us two things. They can prove to us which organisms existed millions of years ago. And if we have the fossils of an organism from millions of years ago, we can compare it to the similar organism of today, and we can see how it's evolved. Now you need to know for your exam how those fossils are formed, and there's three different ways that these fossils can form. The first method is when the hard parts of an organism, things like teeth, bones and the shell, these parts of an organism don't decay very quickly, and what happens is that they are replaced by minerals. Now, when the teeth, the bones and the shell are replaced by minerals, we're left with a rock. With a rock-like substance. And this rock-like substance will be similar to the organism that was once living there before it decayed. Now, another way of forming a fossil is that sometimes organisms can get buried in soft material. Things like clay. And as that organism gets buried in soft material like clay, the clay hardens around it, forming a cast. As the organism inside that cast starts to decay, what we're left with is a fossil or a cast of that organism. And you can see here that we've seen some fossils are actually footprints in things like volcanic ash. But we can also form a fossil when the organism doesn't decay. For an organism to decay, things like the pH, the temperature, and the amount of oxygen has to be optimum so the enzymes can break it down. If these conditions are not favourable for microorganisms and enzymes to break down the organism, well then it becomes fossilised. And it can become fossilised, for example, like in a block of ice. You may have seen a newspaper story where a mammoth was fossilised in a block of ice because it's too cold and there's not enough oxygen for decay to take place. There's also a man that was found in a peat bog. And in the peat bog, the pH levels are not right for decay to take place, and there's also a lack of oxygen. Now, the fossil record, or the record of organisms and their fossils that we have, is incomplete. In other words, we haven't got a complete set of fossils from the beginning of time to today. This causes some problems in science, because that leaves people not knowing how the Earth may have begun or what life was like when the Earth was first formed. Now, Scientists have two reasons why we don't have a complete fossil record. Most scientists will say that the organisms in the past were soft-bodied. That most of the organisms had this soft body that was easy to decay. And if that soft-bodied organism decayed, then it won't have fossilized so that we can study it. And we can also say that geological activity has taken place. Things like the tectonic plates moving may have destroyed or moved around the globe these different fossils. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in. Stay in touch for another video.